ברוכים הבאים, ברוכים הבאים. הנה אורחים, הנה אורחים, באים, באים. ברוכים הבאים.
In a small town of West Caldwell lives Howie Fiwis. He always wanted to live a modest life. Here he is discussing his future intentions with his in-laws.
Well, Shrek owns his own land. Don't you, honey?
Oh, yes. It's in an enchanted forest, abundant in squirrels and cute little duckies and...
What? I know you ain't talking about the swamp.
Donkey.
An ogre from a swamp. Oh, how original.
Well, I suppose that will be a fine place to raise the children.
Unfortunately, circumstances led him astray. As you know, Howie is quite the card player. He plays 3-card poker, and before you know it, he takes a marker and bets the deed to the office building in Staten Island. All in.
Down. Everything.
What does that mean?
Everything.
What do you mean?
Everything
What do you
on
mean?
22 and make it happen for me.
Why the hell are you betting all that on one number? Where did you get that number? What is 22?
Come on, bet.
Stop betting 22. 00. You lost.
What he thinks is no way out, he decides, I'm just going to finish it. He goes to Iguazu Falls and then Niagara Falls, but decides this isn't going to work, especially with his Captain Suburbia gadgets. So he resolves to the next suicide by choice at the 2nd Avenue Deli. Before he takes his life, he starts reminiscing.
Everything.
I've known Howie since he was 10 years old. And he came from Brooklyn and he moved to you.
I was thin when he met me.
Yeah, thin as a rail. Thought he was anorexic.
I was wearing a leisure suit.
Ah, that's it. Made him look thin. Real thin. We used to go to the USY to the dances. We used to drive.
The Maccabees, the Ichabod's.
Howie is stuffed and walks along and meets his guardian angel, who stops him from eating himself into oblivion. His guardian angel helps him see all the lives he's touched and what life would have been like without Howie Fiwis in our lives.
A man on earth needs our help.
Is he sick?
No, worse, he's discouraged. At exactly 10:45 p.m. Earth time, that man will be thinking seriously of throwing away God's greatest gift.
Oh, dear, right, and I'm only an hour to dress.
His mother, Ada, would have looked 20 years younger, and she might have gone off to a career of dancing. Karen, maybe she wouldn't have ended up being such a good child after all.
What are you doing? Get out of my room! Oh.
Hey, what happened?
Nothing. Just taking care of my brother.
And what about Brother Lenny? If it wasn't for Howard, Lenny might have been the number 2 man going to Fiwis Realty. Here he is going off to work with his father, Jack.
Good morning.
Good morning, Duke.
Good morning, Mr. Duke.
Morning, Mr. Duke. Good morning, Mr. Duke.
Good morning, Mr. Duke.
What about Michelle? Where would Michelle be without Howie?
53% of the American workforce is female. 3 generations of women that turned 1,000 years of tradition on its ear. As little girls, they were told to grow up and marry doctors and lawyers. Instead, they grew up and became doctors and lawyers. They moved out of the pink ghetto and into the executive suite. Sociologists say the new working woman is a phenomenon of our time.
And actually, we think Michelle probably would have ended up with someone else as well.
But we know at least one person who was thrilled with Howie's marriage to Michelle.
But we are very lucky because you gave us a wonderful daughter-in-law.
Then what about all those homeowners? Homes wouldn't have been built nearly as nice. Here's what they would have looked like.
Here we have the Jessica 1. Yes, this model, one family house, is selling for the low price of $235. Let's get a closer look. Notice you have ventilation from the windows, and you even have ventilation from the top of the roof. Well, that's my little joke, haha.
Howie always had the right words to say. Well, not always.
2 months ago, Karen asked me to prepare something, and about 2 hours ago I started to write. More than 2 hours ago, about an hour before the wedding started. And I still didn't even finish it, but I decided I'll just read whatever I have and try to add those to the end. 2 months ago, Karen asked if I'd say a few words at the wedding. I'm much better at ad-libbing than reading. And only till a few hours ago was I really didn't.
On the 3rd year of marriage, my true love said to me,
Let's buy a house, we'll get a mortgage,
and we'll move out west to Parsippany.
And you can join in the chorus.
We'll tell you when, okay?
40
years, 40 years. We can't believe it's 40 years. Ate and trapped together in warm and stormy weather. We can't believe it's 40 years.
Okay. Oi, Walter. Oi, Walter. Oi, Walter. She took the money and ran Atlantic City. Oi, Walter. Oi, Walter. Oi, Walter. She took the money and ran Atlantic